The result that he was able to achieve last year, he came with us just 3 months before the exam. And before that also he was doing decently well. But after that his means percentile also improved a lot. And COT also did really well. So it is not about what we did, what he did. This session is about what Ashesh did, and then you can also ask him questions. Ki, how is IIT Madras? Those questions are also open for discussion. So I wanted you to have an interaction with him and hear from his mouth only that how he was able to score well in BitSet also, then IMU also. Then you can see that after that, most of the exams he was able to get a single digit or a double digit rank. And that too in less amount of time. So what exactly he did as a student? So this session is not about me, but about him and how he was able to manage all those things. But more importantly, Ashish, can you let us start from here. How is IIT Madras?
Okay, it is a great campus. There is wildlife all around. I'm sure you must have heard that there are deers walking wild into walking in front of us. And well, the research facilities are also very great. There are lots of labs there.
Two things I remember, I went to IIT Madras actually when I was in IIT Delhi for inter IIT meet. And two things I remember. So one thing was basically obviously the black buck sitting while you are sipping coffee like cows in the campus because it is a black buck century. And then if you are like really late after sunset, you will watch in the grounds also they start roaming, right?
Yes.
And another thing that I remember was the cricket ground. It is like even Indian cricket team comes and practices there. It
Hmm.
is a very
We
beautiful
also
thing.
have a national level Olympic swimming pool.
अच्छा that I did not
Yeah.
know. Great, great, great. ठीक है आशीष, so you can start. You can so now Ashish is here. The stage is open for you guys. You can turn on your mic and ask him questions. He will answer. Anybody? Should I ask? Hmm. ठीक है आशीष, so
Not
what?
to worry, I was just like you 3 months ago. It's okay.
ठीक है, they are all shy basically what to ask and what not to ask. But Dhruv had few questions. Dhruv, you can ask. You can start.
Yes. So congratulations, Ashish, first of all.
Thank you.
My question was, what mistakes student do before the JEE mains, and what did you do in the 3 4 months before the JEE exam after the completion of syllabus?
Okay, so if I heard you correctly, your first question was what mistake you shouldn't do.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, the mistakes which you do depends on what you have done before it, right? So, okay. I'll start with my experience and then maybe you can understand, like, you can take some lessons from it. Before JEE mains, this is before just before Prague B, with when I got like slightly okayish result. So mostly I was enjoying studying by myself, but I mostly focused on the reading part. Like I did not do lots of questions or something like that. And right until like the first attempt, I did not do lots of questions. Like at the end, I tried to do a few mock tests, but clearly that wasn't enough. So in the first JEE mains, I got 98 percentile, which was okay, not the level which Prague B could get me into. After that, I realized that just like reading won't work. So I took the help of Prague B, and they directed me towards doing more questions, as their name suggests, Prague B, practice B. So I started doing more tests and more questions, and after that, I got way better results in JEE Mains second attempt, as you can see. So I think before the exams, I would suggest that you should practice questions. But otherwise, I would also like to emphasize on this that you should enjoy what you do. So, like for me, reading was the enjoyment part, which could lead me to that stage. So, it is also important to enjoy what you do, but at the same time, at the end, you need to practice so that you can become better at scoring well in the exam.
It was a two-part question. What was the second part, Dhruv?
Hmm.
So what to do after the completion of syllabus?
Have you already completed your syllabus?
Not yet.
Hmm. Okay, nice. So, for me, it was like I completed the syllabus once, then I completed it again, and I realized that I did not know a lot of things. Then I revised it again, and then I realized that I don't know even more things. And then it happened in layers and layers and layers, and somehow the things happened. So, I would just suggest that you can revise and uh, read it from new books, learn new stuff, more advanced stuff if that excites you. That excited me. And of course, ask your teachers. They will tell you what you can do to grow.
Yes, anybody else who would want to ask some question? Class 11th students are also there, by the way, who are in class 11th, and they will have new kind of questions. Anybody who wants to join in and
Yes.
ask. Yes.
Congrats, bro. I have seen your results and I feel inspired by seeing your results as a motivational step for me in the coming board and the JE which I am going to clear. Also, I have a simple question. Were you in regular school?
I'm sorry, where did I?
Regu-
Were you in regular schooling?
Yes, yes. I was studying in a normal school, and in fact, I was mostly studying for my normal school up until before I joined Prague B.
And
So,
where do
yeah,
you
that
belong?
was. I was studying in Kolkata, Lakshmipat Sangani Academy.
And okay, and how do you manage your school and JE syllabus in a coordinated manner? No?
Okay, that is an interesting question. Why would you think that the JE syllabus is different from the school studies?
Yeah, first
Uh,
thing is the
hmm,
way, yeah,
hmm.
the type of questions, and the second thing is, yeah, it would be reasoning, but to write in JE, we will not be writing. We'll be directly kicking the MCQs. Whereas in school, we need to write it.
Yes.
And that's what is the main problem face.
Hmm. So for me, I would think that when you write the questions entirely, it would help. The writing part is not for the examiner; it is for you, so that they understand that you have understood it properly or not. So for me, I think like with proper theory, like not in J, before that in boards with proper theory, your understanding will be much better than if you would just focus on MCQs.
Yeah.
For me, like it is the base above which the J part is built.
Fine. Anybody else?
So may I?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so to expand on what Anish asked, it's like it's not about syllabus really. It's more about how to tackle school work and preparing for J at the same time because there are practical files to be submitted and lots of stuff which goes on in the school which is not necessarily something which complies with J too. And I feel like a lot of times I need to take out separate time to do all of that and with while doing that I tend to compromise on the time which I have set for say doing practice questions or anything. So how do I manage all of that?
Hmm. Okay. So for me, it was slightly easier because, as I said, I wasn't seriously preparing for JE before that. I was more focusing on building the basics. So as you said, you have to submit practical files. The thing which you write in the practicals, I think that is a very important part of JE, the practical analysis. And the experiments which you do, they often come in JE questions. So even those small parts which may not seem important, at the end they also like contribute to your like knowledge at the end. And for practicing questions, take out as much time as you can. That's the best advice I can give. But obviously, don't compromise on your health and sleep. Sleeping is very important. I sleep a lot, like 10 hours sometimes maybe. Take out as much time as you can. Even small steps can make a big difference.
Yes. Anybody else?
May I?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
So actually, I had the question that the three subjects I know like different. Like if this question is like not, it has not been addressed yet. Can you say that what were the different strategies to tackle different subjects?
Okay. Well, strategies honestly keep changing like every month or two. But okay, I can give you some pointers. For chemistry, I would say that most of my time was gone into reading, and only like the end part, the 1 month was practice. So in fact, I even read like some books like Solomon Frahel and all those. Have you heard of them? And JDV?
I have heard of them, but I
Okay,
haven't tried reading them.
okay. Well, I found those interesting. So at some point of time, I read those, and then later I got to know that it is in not strictly, but somewhat in J syllabus. So all those things also help. So for chemistry, I guess reading NCRT and some books would be helpful for you. For physics, it was a balance between practice and knowledge. Like, and you can, in fact, tell you a good strategy. You can try finding some examples from daily life which involve physics. You'll find lots of them, and they will be interesting for you to solve too. Okay. And for maths, it's like mostly practice and slight bit of theory. But even then, there are lots of visualizations and stuff which you can like understand from lots of resources. Like, even with I was studying under Devesh sir, so he was at times like he would just show about some visualizations of planes and all those things. So yeah, and yeah. And yeah, of course, you can refer to online resources like Pragvi one-to-one classes.
What else? Anybody? Any other questions? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Go ahead.
And yes, what did you find most significant in Pragvi, or what was the benefit that you gained through means through a path of Pragvi? What did you gain a lot more than school?
Hmm. Okay. So, firstly, their focus is towards J. So, after like having classes with them, even my focus became towards J. So, that is the first thing which they did. Secondly, most importantly, they provided me with one-to-one classes. So, I was studying with one teacher per batch, like one teacher with me. So whenever after that I started doing lots of questions, right? So I had lots of doubts, and with personalized teachers I could like solve all of the whole class would be finished in just my doubts.
Yeah.
So they cleared my doubts obviously, and they did it in a like controlled short amount of time. And secondly, it was in my routine. Like they allowed me to like plan my classes when I want to do it. So like I would ask them to schedule a class at this time, and they would do it. So that was also very helpful because I don't like routines a lot. So
Yeah, and where the questions stored in Pragvi help you in examinations.
that is rarely the case. For mains, I can say that if you do a lot of questions, then they you will start seeing some patterns probably, but you should not be looking for them.
And
At the end you should be able to develop an intuition kind of thing, so that you don't require to like see the same question and do it. Instead you understand how it can be done, and then you solve it.
yes, and what was the strategy that you followed during writing the exam?
During writing the exam,
Yeah.
okay. Mhm. One sec. Right, so I started my paper with physics.
Yeah.
Oh, are you in 12th or 11th right now?
Yeah. Come again?
Are you in class 12th right now or class 11th right now?
Oh,
Because
11.
11th, okay. Okay, so I started with physics, then I went into actually there are two papers for JEE advanced. Actually, I'll start with JEE mains first. In JEE mains, right. So in JEE mains, I started with physics, then I went on to chemistry, and then I went on to maths. But the physics and chemistry was so easy that I ended up spending a lot of time on it. And then for maths, I had like 30 minutes remaining, so I had to do them in a rush. But this was in a this was the beginning with Prague B. After that, I realized that I can do a lot to improve my strategies. So after that, I started doing lots of mock tests. I was doing like one mock test every day. So from that, by the time of advanced, I was prepared for like how to handle the paper. So I followed the same pattern with physics, chemistry, and maths. But my time distribution became much better just with practice. Like I wasn't doing it consciously, but I could like make out that I have done this much in this time, so now I can move on to the next subject. So overall, I would say my strategy would be for you to do lots of papers so that you can find out the strategy for yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, anything else? Somebody wants to take it up. Next question.
So may I?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
So, what was your priority? A better college or a better branch?
Okay. For me, before JEE Advanced and JEE Mains, I was not focusing so much on what college I would get. This is before the exams. So I was just open to the idea that if I do well in the competitive exams, then it will open a better scope for me so that I can choose my college well. But I was not only focused on IITs. Like there are similar kind of colleges in different fields which are equally good. Like there is IIST, there are ISIS, there is IISC. So ISI. So I was open to the idea of all of them before the exam. But after the exam, so after the exam, I would take advices from lots of people, and they said that college is slightly more important than branch. But again, in my preference, in the final stage, I had three choices of IISER Pune, IIT Madras, and IIST. So my choice was based on the fact that IIT Madras is the best college among the three, and it gave me the mechanical engineering branch, so I liked that. So it was like a good, like it was good in both respects, but you more exposure to different kinds of things.
Yes, Rita, you are asking something.
Uh, yes, sir. Uh, uh, Hi, Ashish. Congratulations on getting into IIT Madras. Yeah, I once saw the campus. It was actually very nice. Okay, my question is, in the last few months of your preparation, like how did you revise your class 11 chapters?
Hmm. Class 11 chapters, right? So when JEE Advanced started, the teachers, Shival sir and everyone suggested me that I should start doing the basics books, which is these MS Chauhan and all these. So for them, I was just doing all the questions in the order which. So it was both class 11th and 12th. So there was not much specificity between the two, 11th and 12th. I was doing both of them together.
Okay.
There are two.
But other than that, you can read NCRT. I used to like in the between sometime or the other, I would read some chapter from NCRT, which I thought was like I haven't read for some time.
There is a two-part question now. The first part of the question says that what did you do when you found yourself not being able to concentrate on study? Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, firstly, what is your definition of studying? That matters a lot. For the reading part, I would generally find that I was like I could engage myself curiously into reading books. So that was not much of a problem. If you find it boring, read some other book, some interesting book which you find. For the questions part, yes, it happened to me a few times. Like I would get ahead of the questions, and like by the end of JEE Advanced, there was a time when I did not want to do any more questions. So at that time, everyone suggested that you can either take a break or do some light study. So I did some light study. I would just read NCRT. In fact, during the last week of JEE Advance, I did not want to do any questions. So I was just enjoying reading NCRT book once again. So that was my solution. Make small steps which you find enjoyable instead of making like doing something which you don't like a lot.
Another question that Advika has asked is basically you wrote KVP by exam, right?
Yes,
So what is your advice to students regarding writing Olympiads in class 11th and
I
12th?
wrote the Olympiad too.
You wrote Olympiad also.
Hmm.
Yes. So the question is regarding that: should
Yes.
one write, not write? What should they do?
Huh. For me, it would be they helped a lot in. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. For me, the KVPY exam was in the same exam center in which all my final exams were there. So in the beginning of class 11th only, I got like exposed to the exam center, and I was so that was one beneficial effect. Other than that, in 11th class, I was studying for KVPY. I was not studying for JEE. So it helped me develop a different perspective altogether towards like the future exams. And I gave the Olympiads too, they were fun. Overall, like it helps you like feel the exam experience and all. So I would suggest that you should give them. They help expand your outlook towards the whole thing.
Any other question?
I also have one question.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
So my question is that in the last 2-3 months before JEE mains especially, there's always some chapters in our syllabus which we are not that good at, and there are some chapters which we are good at, and means by the way, both of these I'm talking about high weighted chapters. Few which we are not good at, and few which we are good at. So, what should we focus on to be more better at what we know, or should do the ones which we don't know?
Okay, that is a slightly thought-provoking question. Um, for okay, so there are some topics which okay, if you are in the beginning part of your studies, like before, as you are saying before, like in before 2-3 months of JEE mains, at that time I was focusing on improving as many topics as I could, because you still have a lot of time for JEE advance. Like if you have 3 months for JEE mains, you have 6 months for advance or 5 months for advance. So at that time I was focusing on improving as many topics as I could, reading as many material as I could. But by the end of like after JEE mains, JEE mains second attempt maybe for JEE advance, at that time I would say that you can, at by that time you will understand if you're actually good at it or you haven't spent as much time on it. At that point, I think you can start selecting topics which you are good at. And of course, in this matter, I think teachers will help you a lot, because they can understand better than you what you are good at or you're good at or what you're spending time. For me, the teachers helped me with
Yes,
this
got it.
actually. So
Done, done. Yes, next question. Nothing? Fine. ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And were you in computer science group?
sorry,
Were you in computer science? During 11
computers.
and 12.
Yes, yes.
And how did you manage your time to study computer science while comparing to the other subjects while for school examinations?
That is a thing to talk about. I had computer science and I also had this vocational subject called financial markets management, sixth subject.
Yeah.
So for computer science, it was fun, honestly. Like the coding part and all the stuff was fun, and I had some exposure in this. I have made some projects on coding. So if you can try that, like have some fun in that instead of like focusing on the exams, maybe that will help you. Plus, I was attending all the school classes during the beginning period. So the teachers there will probably help you with boards. And just read the books, I guess. That is the best thing. Hmm. And before boards practice, other than that, I would say just like keep it in the back of your mind.
I have one question.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, go ahead.
Uh, how did you realize that you want to do engineering? Like as a whole, like I still can't figure out whether I want to just do engineering in my life or do something after that. So how did you come to realize?
Okay, which class are you in right now?
11th.
11th. And apart from engineering, what else do you think you would like to do?
At this point, really, I think I will do engineering, but after that, I'm not really sure because, talking to a lot of my friends or anyone, relatives, really, they're all just like engineering करके engineering के अलावा सब कुछ हो जाती है. That's something which I hear constantly. So that is something which I'm very confused about whether I want to continue pursue my career as an engineer or do I want to do something else.
Okay, you will have a lot of time to think about that question, but I'll give you some pointers. In the beginning, I was just open to the idea that doing well in JEE mains and advanced would be good for any kind of college, like even for ICERs, and that is the widest I can think of right now, apart from engineering. For even for those kind of colleges, it would help you in the entrance of those colleges. So that is one thing. Other than that, if you want to pursue an entirely different stream, then there are both ways. Like in my college right now, there are many people who are planning to go for UPSC and stuff. But you will have time to think about that later. If you want to make a strong decision right now, then I would suggest that you would talk to your parents and all about that. And if you want to go for engineering or anything related to that, like science related field, then you can study for JEE Advanced and Mains. That would be good in the same right direction, I guess.
And and
Uh, uh, yeah, please.
and is this year your first year in academic college?
Yes, this was my first attempt.
And I have a simple doubt that in IITs, can we find any other better courses compared to BTech and BE?
In IITs, there is a BSc course of physics. You can go for that. And apart from that, in IITs, I don't think there is a course for like undergraduate programs. But there are other colleges, obviously, which are almost on par with IITs. Like IISc is on the same level, and IIST as a specialized college is good for aerospace. Very good.
Done? Anybody with any other questions? Great. ठीक है, तो I have two
And of
questions.
course, there are private colleges.
Yeah, I have two questions. One question is that, yes, I will ask him. So there are two questions. One is basically how did you prepare for BITS exam, and how did you exactly prepare for boards exam? And the students probably would want to know that also.
For BITS exam, I honestly did not prepare that much. Before the BITS exam, I gave 2 or 3 mock tests. Other than that, there was no specific preparation for BITS. And at the end, it does not make any difference. All the exams, like, they have the same syllabus. So it does not make much difference what you're doing. You just need to get used to the pattern of it. And for board exams, in the first 6 or 7 months of my class 12, I was following school and like doing all their tests properly and studying for their tests properly and everything, studying their practicals. So I think that helped me in like performing equally good in both.
And
Well, satisfactory, I guess.
what do you enjoy in IIT now? Like, what are you currently pursuing along with your studies,
Hmm.
extracurriculars?
there is this C5, which stands CFI. It stands for Center for Innovation. It has lots of projects and research going on. They even go to foreign competitions and win some. They have won some stuff. And recently, there was a competition between Tesla and our Hyperloop because both are working towards making magnetic levitation trains. So there is scope for that. And there is also IIT Madras Research Park where your ideas can be incubated and funded. So lots of scope for innovation.
Got it. Got it. Great, Ashish. It was a great session talking to you. Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you for even it was great to listen to so many new children have new kind of perspectives towards JE. So
Yes, yes. The school-related exam, Natik, he has already answered. What he has told is everything is important. And so I will try and summarize the whole session in like 2 minutes, and then we can all probably get with our work. So what he told us in a nutshell is that one, we should enjoy what we are doing. And I think that is the core, his one of his core beliefs. This is not just from this session that I'm getting to know him. I have been with him for quite long. What I understood is basically he genuinely enjoys doing sciences. That is one thing that is clearly different about him and compared to other students. Probably I was one such a student who really liked to do sciences and was probably writing JEE because we somehow enjoy doing physics, chemistry, and mathematics. And that is the core of his preparation. If you want to call it preparation, that is the core of his whole preparation. He loved doing it. And he loved spending time with the subject, trying understanding more. So it is more like a journey for him that he enjoys. So if we can somehow do it in this manner, where it is more interesting for us, rather than burden for preparing for an exam and getting through the exam, it becomes somehow easy. I'm not saying it is going to be a walk in the park kind of situation, but it will become relatively easy where you will enjoy the journey. So the marathon will not be that troublesome for you. That is one thing that I got to know about him. And other things that he has answered regarding, I hope we will be keep calling different alumni of Pragby who have written and cleared the examination, and they will come and interact. Probably we can have once in 15 days, once a session. You can come and try and know their experiences as well. If you want, we can do that. So the core that I have understood about him is really enjoying what you're doing, taking things at your own pace, and ultimately being patient with what you are trying to do. See, what he did towards the end was really important. When, like 1 week before the exam, right, Ashish, you came to me and you told me that, sir, it is really boring. I cannot do it anymore. And then I told him that take it very easy. Whatever you enjoy, you do that. Because see, if you are in a very good motivation, very good mood while writing the paper, automatically you are going to do it. Okay, so it is not about some kind of a regimen that you need to follow. Obviously, if you do it in that manner, if it suits you, definitely it is better. But if you really enjoy it, the generally the journey will become very, very rewarding. And in the sense that you will not find spending those extra hours very difficult. Fine. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Ashish, for coming. And if required, we will want you to take one more such session before the exam so that everybody
yes,
gets
yes.
motivated.
It was great to talk to you after so long, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.